Hello. So I wanted today to talk about one of the areas that I think is most ignored by product people. People that are working creating products, especially software products, which is the area that I have been working on over 20 years. And I have been hiring different type of roles for product people like product managers, product designers, data scientists, documentation specialists. So what I wanted to talk about is that you can create extremely good products, but it's still failing to get those products to be adopted by your users. Why does this happen? The reality is that just creating great products is not gonna be the only thing that makes your product successful. It's certainly a very key factor, and I don't want to say that it's not a key factor and that it's not an important thing, the job that you have typically focused on doing. But there's an area that most of the product people ignore, which is how we are going to get this product to the market. Let's talk about it. So getting a product to the market, what usually is known as go-to-market or GTM in some cases, it's a very important part of the journey that your customers are going to have with your product. And typically, this is going to be composed of certain stages that your potential customers are going to go through. First, they are going to have to discover your product, how they are going to find out that your product exists. This might be just social media posts, this just might be word of mouth, what they hear from their friends, whatnot. Anything can work. Then they're going to consider this product. Is this product good for me? Is it a good fit for what I need? This you do many times probably yourself when you're looking for products. You go look for reviews, check the technical data, check if it offers the things that I need. Think if you're buying a camera, think if you're buying a software. You will look at the features that it has and if those features really fit what I'm trying to do. And you probably will look at some reviews that are going to be in some videos or some articles in the internet. Also, you are going to, as part of this consideration, in some cases, you are going to even test those products. This is something that is very typical in car manufacturing. Cars, you can usually go and test drive a car, but you can do this with many software where you have a trial version. This is relatively common. A 30 days trial, for example, for a game or for a software, or you can have even a freemium. The idea of a freemium, obviously, is that you consider that product, that it gives you already value, you can use it, but if you want to unlock all the value of the product, you should purchase it. This takes us to the next stage, which is purchasing. You want to have a seamless experience for the users. You don't want them to be lost about how to purchase, if they had to contact sales, can they do it on their own? If you have already, especially in software products, a contact sales tag or a contact sales button, let's call it, in your website, this might put off certain people already that could have purchased one or two licenses or subscriptions just to test your product. If they wouldn't like it, probably they would drop. That's true. But at least they will start using your product, which gives them more chances to continue. If you already had the contact sales, I think that some people are Santa's put off and they are not going to even try it. But anyways, there's many ways that you have to think about how they're going to purchase your product. Then you have the first experience that those first purchasers are going to have of your product. How you onboarding, how you help them to find value. How do you make sure that your product is easy to use? Even for B2B cases, we know that B2B doesn't have to be very easy and there are many times expert tools. That's not a very good excuse for bad design. Or it is a good excuse for bad design. I'm not sure what I said earlier. And then finally, there's more like the service and loyalty part. How do you service your product? How do you create new versions? How are you going to grow in the future? Especially if you start with a small product, you're going to have an MVP. You want to make it bigger and accomplish that vision that you have in the future. You have to make sure that you are able to roll out those later features. And this doesn't mean that you have a very, written in rock or however it's called, roadmap, written in stone, maybe. Written in stone roadmap that you cannot change, but it means that you have big areas that you know that you're going to have to do and being, let's say, intense that you are going to have to develop in the future. Those are things that you have to have clear and understand that they are going to be needed in the future for your customers to succeed. And finally, there's going to be also how you promote loyalty among your customers. How do you create like a community around your product? How you can facilitate all these things that are going to help your customers to be loyal customers to you and actually promoters of your product. Like going back to the first step, you can have your customers being your first promoters. And that's probably one of the most powerful promoters that you can get. As well, you can do things like a successful customer success. That sounds awful, but that you are able to help your customers succeed. This can be via support channels, via content creation, via thought leadership, helping your customers, not only with your product, but on the whole area of what they are trying to do. This is very important, and this is something that is not thought out as product person. And sorry for maybe a little bit lengthy description of what a go-to-market strategy is, but it's very important that you understand that if you want your product to succeed, you have to think about how this is going to be implemented. It might be that in your organization you are not driving it, but that's fine. But you had to be part of that discussion because there are going to be things that you could be doing within your product to support that strategy. So for example, you can facilitate the pro onboarding, those first experiences that the customer had with your product via tutorials, learning materials, whatnot, that are going to help your product or your customers, achieve the value proposition of your product much faster and don't get lost trying to use it or try to find it themselves and maybe giving up on your product, because we have seen that before and that's not an uncommon thing to happen. And there are other things that you can do within the product to even promote new features, to even promote potentially things that users can purchase within the product. I don't like to put this example because it's not the way that I like promotion to be done, but games with microtransactions nowadays, whether you like it or not, they're doing a great job at getting certain people to pay for those games. It's also true that they are making a ton of people really dislike those games. But there are things that definitely can be done in the product that can facilitate that upgrade to being a paid customer. And maybe it's not just a transaction, microtransaction, but it's maybe going from a freemium product to a paid product where you can actually facilitate that information towards your customers and also facilitate the transition of those non-paying customers to paying customers. So being able to understand better the part of the business of creating a product is going to help you massively in your career as a product manager. Actually, it's going to help you probably even progress in your career, because I would say that most of the product managers that I know don't care about this and don't pay much attention to it. Meaning that if you are able to really pay attention to this and be able to maybe not implement the whole thing, is really difficult for one person to do that, but unless you are in a really small company, but that you are able to be a key component on those conversations, this is going to help you to even progress in your career, maybe to move towards like a senior position, like a senior or principal product manager, or even a leader, product leader, because basically this is what is making you be more strategic about the products that you're creating. You are not just caring about creating that best product for your customer. You're also caring about how to create the biggest impact for your business with that product. And that, of course, is something that the businesses, the company, are going to be appreciative of. So how much are you involved with go-to-market? Please let me know in the comments below. Do you participate? Do you not? You don't participate whatsoever? Are you even familiar with what go-to-market is? Let us know in the comment below and let's try to figure out where we are. And if this is a topic that you're interested in and you want me to talk more about it, also let me know in the comments below as well. I have a video talking about what go-to-market is and what also a customer journey are. And I'm going to link them here so you can go check them out. I will see you in the next one. And remember, stay safe.